think I can share my screen now.
She got on to
No,
mute.
still account. I think Zahir also logged in. Let me try. No, still I can't.
Hi, Krishna.
Hi Zahir. Can you share my screen now?
Yes. Okay. So once you finish this meeting now, please give me a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, Zahir. Sonia, so the screen, I'm sharing the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let me change this to United States. Okay, fine. So we are good to go now. So let me
Can we-
recap whatever we have done last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sonia?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. If you can open up the Excel and then we can quickly go over what we have done so far.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's recap whatever we have done last week. So we created controlling area. Above is the operating concern. If you remember, above is the client. So client, operating concern. If you see the org structure, so first is the client. Okay. So whatever you are seeing here, this is client. Okay, this is called as client. See, you can see S20 at the bottom. So this is called as client. Okay, this is called as client now. Okay, and within the client, we can create any number of operating concerns, as I explained. So operating concerns, under that is controlling area. Then under that is company code, company and company code. So this is the FIR structure, which is a prerequisite.
Yeah, I meant whatever we created in the system. I'm sorry. That's all.
Yeah, fine. So these are the ones we created in the system. I'll show you in the system also. Okay. So I don't know what disconnected.
So, Krishna, when you create something, any organization structure or any configuration, can you capture that into a spreadsheet? That way we don't need to go back and see all
Yeah,
the
that's
recording.
what I've done actually. Yes. That's what we've done. We done all this in our system. Like, last week we had done all this. We created a controlling area, company code. We did a fiscal year variant. I'll show you. And few things we left, like posting period variant. I completed it. Okay.
No. I
Posting period
understand
variant.
that. Yeah, I know that. But in this spreadsheet, next to the fiscal year variant, can you add what fiscal year variant we created, what posting period we
Okay,
create?
okay, fine.
Yeah. That way we can just look at the configuration of that particular object.
So it was like 1001. 1001. For training purpose, I'm using the same code. So it can be company code, can be alphanumeric, it can be numeric. Okay. So it can be alphabets and numeric or only the numeric. Okay. So, so fiscal year variant I created as A1. I'll show you that in the system. And this one, also A1. And document type is, these are standard in the system. Okay. Document type and posting keys are both are standard. Okay. So
Right.
let's show that in the system. Okay. So enterprise structure. Okay, so master content. So this is our company code, ERP Center for Training. I just change the description, and you can put the state. These are all free fields, as you know. So you can put input your own values. Okay. In the same way, company code also. It is 1001. I change the description to ERP Center for Learning or something, whatever it may be. Okay, so this is the one. But I change it to ERP Learning Center something. Why it is not reflecting? Sorry. So I should see that updated description. Okay. These are our company code. Okay, fine. The same way, controlling area also. So before that, let me show you the global parameters in the company code, or else I can go from here itself. Okay. So OBY6. I don't know what is changing like this. So this is a transaction code. You can note down this transaction code. OBY6 is for company code global settings. That means we can set all the global parameters for the company code in this transaction code. Okay, just double click on our code. So chart count was 1001. My company was 1001. So this company code is linked to this company. That means this company code is coming under this company. And I already created a chart of accounts, not the GL accounts, just the chart of accounts. So this is assigned to my company code now. And my fiscal year variant is A1. I'll show you this one also, what I've done. Okay. And this is the field status variant, which is standard variant. Okay. And posting period variant to open and close posting periods. Okay. These are the global parameters. Okay. So I assigned the company code to controlling area also. Now we are done with the FI org structure. So here, so let me show something. So other module people, once if FI consultant finish off all this F structure, other consultants like MM and SD, they will create their own units in their respective modules. Like for example, logistics, middle management, plant and purchasing organization. So they'll go and create and assign it to company code. They need to link it to the company code. consultant, he's going to create the storage location, he's going to create the purchasing organization in the same way. Okay, he's going to create plant. It comes under logistics. I think you have to bear with me. This is internet is a little bit slow from my side today. I don't know. So here, the guy, consultant, he's going to create the plant, purchasing organization, storage location, or his own units. Okay, he will create the plant here. The same way how we created the company code. This is the main unit in the MM. Okay. So, and in the same way, sales and distribution, they will create the sales area. That means sales area means sales organization, okay, distribution channel plus division. So these three together is called as sales area. Sales area, it consists of sales organization. Just for information, I'm not going to do this. And distribution channel and division. So these three together is called as sales area. Okay. In the same way, MM guy is going to create plant. Okay. Purchasing, organization, and storage location. So after creation of all these items, they'll link it to the company code. So it will be linked to the company code. So all these three are linked to the company code. In the same way here also, all these three are linked to the company code. In the same way, HR also. So HR also, what they do, they create employee groups. There are employee groups they need to create. Okay, employee subgroups. I think subgroups, personal areas. So these are all created by HR consultant. Okay, and these are three are linked to the company code. So company code should be the existing, already should be existing in the system for other modules to get implemented. Okay, so FI structure is the basic thing which is required. Okay, okay. So this is the org structure. Normally, it will be done under enterprise structure. So financial accounting is a node. So for finance, we will configure everything in finance and financial accounting, and we have separate controlling also here. So there are two nodes for us: financial accounting node and controlling node. So here we go to financial accounting global settings. You will see fiscal year variant, posting period variant, whatever that can be configured here. So go to ledgers. Okay. So here this is the one. So maintain fiscal year variant. Already I created, I think. A1 is the one. So it's a calendar year. It follows calendar year, like Jan to December. So if you see the periods, I've specified here what is my, sorry, what is my first period, what is my second period. So my first month is my first period, which is January. Second is for February. Third is for March. So there is no year shift. So it is 0, 0, 0 here. Suppose, for example, my first period is April. If I'll put 4 here, May 5 here, 6, 7. So then comes the year shift, -1, -1, -1 here for 3 periods. Okay. So this is my fiscal year variant. And as per the variant principle, we need to assign this to the company code. So create the variant first, create the variant called as A1, I created, and assign the values or load the values or create the values in the variant. These are the values which I created, and we need to assign this to the company code. So these are the three. Yeah.
Okay, so -1 would come if you are taking like from, let's say, March to April.
Yeah, yes, correct. April, for example, if it is a Indian company, it is for like, it is from April to March, right? So for example, let's take Q4, this one, Q4. Oh, no, not this one. I think V3, we can take V3. Which is standard delivered by the system. So here you can see there'll be year shift like this. So
Okay,
my
those
first period is April. Yeah. So for 3 periods, this is my April. This is April. This is my first period. April is my first period.
right.
May is my second
Got
period.
it.
Okay. So
So,
then in
we
this
would
case,
not,
year shift will come. Okay.
yeah, but we would not make this change in K4, right? We will just use V3.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
We can copy. See, if you are want to create an Indian company code in the system, what I do is I'll just go here. Okay, I'll copy this. I'll just take this variant. Okay, click on copy.
Copy
I'll
and
create a new one. That's all.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
A2.
Thank you.
That's it. It will be available for me. So I'll not touch the standard original, the standard delivered, the variant. I'm going to copy, then I can make changes, whatever I want. So A2. So I can make change the description here. So it will be available. Okay. So if you, the same periods, whatever that were there in V3 will get copied here. So anything, normally, if it is a delivered by system like SAP, we don't use a change, do the changes in that. We copy that, let it be a program or a report. We have standard reports in the system. And if you want to customize the report in the, in the system, what we do is we copy the standard report and create a new report. And there we play with that report. We can do the changes in the program, what values you want, what column you want, what rows you want. And that way we'll change. In the same way, posting periods. So here also same thing. It's a variant, right? So you have to create a variant first, assign the variant to the company code, and feed the values. Assign the values. Okay. So this is the variant principle. So it's the same thing. Whatever the code I've given, I'll use the same code. So these are the values which I fed yesterday. Like for each account type, assets, D is for A is for assets, D is for customers, okay, K is for vendors, M for material, S for GL accounts. So these are standard account types given by the system. For all these account types, I'm going to control the posting period. So normally CFO or finance manager, he will have access to the system. Like sorry, this screen. He will control he will open every month. He goes here, he will change the period. Like for example, if I say 2, so that means for asset postings, I opened the system from February 2020 till December 2021. Okay, like that. So if you don't open it, you can't post the asset postings. Like you can't post the asset related invoice. We can't do the depreciation. So we have a standard transaction to execute the depreciation. We can't do anything. So this is the main thing which should be done. As soon as the month opens, CFO should log in here. He should open the month. Okay. So even customer also D. So if you don't open the period, you can't post the customer invoices, you can't post the customer payments, you can't do dunning. All AR related, everything will be blocked. So these are posting periods. Okay, and I discussed about document types, which there are a lot of document types given by the system, standard document types, and posting periods also standard. So we normally that is sufficient for us. If you go to any project, that is sufficient. In case if it's extra requirement, very rare case, you can create a new document type.
It's 8 o'clock.
So you can create a new document type, which is called as custom document type or Z document type. You can create a posting keys, a new posting keys. 99% you will not do that because whatever system has given will be sufficient to meet the requirements, client's requirements. Okay, and we discussed last week what are the functionalities of document types. So there are two main functionalities of document types. Do you remember that? What are those two? It's very important for certification exam and also for interview. And in interview, they are going to ask all these kind of things. So what are the functionalities of document types? What are the use of document type? Why use that? What is the need of using a document type? So there are two functionalities I explained last week. If you can just try to recall an answer.
It drives the field status of field reference and text,
Correct.
header text.
The document header text. This one functionality.
Hmm.
Well, what about the second one? Second
Second,
functionality?
type of the document that you are posting.
Yeah, that is there, but like within SAP, like in the system, there is a
For
functionality
like,
which highlight.
like if it's
Sorry.
that's the posting key for the 40 and the 50, but the document type also tells us what account, not account, but what it's doing.
What the document it is. Yeah. Yeah. By
Yeah.
seeing the document type, we can tell whether it's a particular document type is like, sorry, document is it a customer invoice, customer payment? The same Rama has answered. But there's one more functionality, controls technically. So technically, what is one more thing it controls? It controls something, document type, technically. So in terms of business, they yeah, of course, client, the people users should understand by opening the journal entry in the system on the post, they will see what is debited, what is credited, but they'll not be in position to tell what kind of document is that. So they need to refer the document type. So if it is DR, it is a customer invoice. They'll see the document type and they'll conclude. DR, DZ is for customer payment, KR is for vendor invoice, KZ for customer payment, like that. Okay, that's for business. But technically, for a consultant, one functionality is it controls the field status of two fields. One is reference field, other is document header text. And the second thing is one more functionality is there, very, very important functionality.
Did we discuss about that? I'm trying to recollect. So
So hold on. So reference field and the document header has two things, right? The reference field and
yeah,
And document header text. If you go to the end user transaction, -02, so it controls the field status. So we can, through document type, we can control whether this is should be mandatory field. If I make it as mandatory, like see, you can see document date. There's a yeah. Sorry, Sonia, please tell me.
sorry, I think so not the field status variant, but field status group. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I don't
so I think
that is
controls is
yeah,
the type of accounts that it can post to.
which one you're talking about? Posting keys, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Posting keys. No, that posting key will tell.
No, the type of accounts that it can post to. Can it post to? No.
No. It will tell whether particular line item is a like is a debit line item or credit line item. Okay, let's close this first. Okay. So document type. So this is my document type. So if you see, these are all list of document types. So
Right.
I'm using SA here. If you see, say SA means it's a general ledger document. I'm posting a general ledger document here. So this document type controls two fields. Okay, reference
Right.
field and document header text. Okay, one more is it controls the number ranges. Okay, so
Number
number
ranges.
ranges. Once we click ranges, yeah, we'll link this to the document type. Okay.
Okay.
In the same way, posting key. So yeah, posting key also controls the field status. Okay, and now document number ranges. We'll go to document number ranges. Let's go to the document node here. So so here you create a document type. If you want a new one, so here. So we'll have option for a new entries here. So if you see, wherever you see the option new entries here, see new entries or copy button. So if you see these two, that means system is allowing, yes, given option to you to create a new ones. Okay, that means we can create a document type. But there are certain areas where you can't create your own thing. We use the standard one. But for document types, we can use it. Okay. So document number ranges. Okay, we'll go to document number ranges. So once we create the document number ranges, so 1001. So nothing will be there. It will be blank here because I not created any document number ranges here. I'm going to create. So I can go to change mode. Okay, I can insert a new. So document number range. You click on insert button. It will give a new line item. You can put the document number ranges. Okay. So I'll not do that. What I'll do is I'll copy now. Okay. So I'll copy the number ranges. copy to company code. I'll take the standard document number ranges of 0001. There is one training system given by SAP. So I'll take that document number ranges. So 001. It's a German company code 0001. Okay, and I want to copy to my company code 1001. I take it from the list. So this is my company code. So all the document number ranges that are there in this company code, okay, will get copied to this one. Okay, click on execute. This is called as execute button. Okay, when you see like a white kind of wheel kind of button, a clock kind of button, it is called as execute. So once you execute, it will get copied. So you get a message. So these are the number ranges. So 00, 01, 02. Okay. So it is valid until this year, double line. So all these intervals are added. So each of the document number ranges are linked to document type. For example, 01. 01 is linked to one kind of document. Okay, a document type. I'll show you that. So I should be having the document number ranges now in my company code.
So do you remember these in your head, like because you have done it so many times, do you remember this, or does the usually the client will give you what number ranges do you want? Or
No. Yeah. We need to sit with the client because he might be expecting 01 should for it should be for vendor invoice, 01 for vendor invoice, 02 for vendor payment. We need to get the requirements. That will be done during like a requirement gathering session. So once we kick off the project, we are going to sit with the client and we are going to prepare business blueprint or BPD, business process document. In that, we are going to document all this. Like we document everything, like as is process. So what is the current legacy process they are following? Maybe some other system, maybe they are using Oracle or some other ERP or some other non-ERP system for accounting purpose. We are going to document everything and we are going to explain them. So the document number concept, document number range concept is there in the system. So we can create document number ranges and link it to the document type. So we need to get the requirements from him. He will tell what kind of number range he wants for documents. Okay.
This document type, yeah.
Because once you assign this, it'll be like lifelong. Okay, lifelong. He is going to use those document numbers. So here, if you go here, okay, here, let's see whether it's copied or not. I got a message. It is copied, so it should be available here for me. So these are the document number ranges. Okay, which got copied from the standard company code to my company code. Okay, and you can see here. This is the starting number. Okay, for example, let's take 01. This is the 01 document number range. Okay, so this is the year and this is the starting number. When I post the first document, let it be, for example, vendor invoice KR. Assume that 01 is linked to vendor invoice. So when I post the first vendor invoice, system will take this first number and it will show the current status here. And here, this is very important. The last column, we are going to tell the system whether it's external or internal. If you don't check this box, that means system will automatically keep track of the number ranges. We need not keep track. System will assign sequentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. But if you check this box, it's external. External means we need to keep track from our side in the Excel. System will not keep track. Whenever you are entering vendor invoice, you have to give the document number. So what is the next number? So that is internal and external number ranges. Okay. This is very important and you get a question in the interview about this. External. What is the difference between internal number ranges and external number ranges? External means we are going to keep track of all the documents and we are going to assign the number range to all the documents. Okay. So if you see here document types, this number range, one of the number ranges should be linked to each document type. if you double click on, for example, let's take here vendor invoice. Okay, see, this is a vendor invoice. I'll double click on this. So the number range is 19. That means whenever you're posting the vendor invoices, the document will start with 19 series, 19 all zeros. The first vendor invoice will get posted with the number 19 all zeros, 19 all zeros 1, 19 all zeros 2. So system will sequentially pick up the numbers and it will assign the number range, because we have created as an internal. 19 is an internal number range for us. Okay. System will take care of number ranges, like the numbers assignment to the documents. So each document, for example, asset, if you take asset, so it is again 19 here, because we are procuring to we are procuring the asset. Normally we acquire the asset from vendor, right? So definitely he will send a vendor invoice. So even asset acquisition is a vendor invoice for us. So vendor invoice means here again at same number range 19. Okay. But if you want a separate number range for asset postings, you can do that also. No issues. Okay, and KZ. If you take KZ, vendor payment will be different now. So it is 15. So whenever you see a document type, document number starting with 15, it is a vendor payment. Okay, if you see 19, it's a vendor invoice. Okay. So now you got the idea, right? So document control the number system. So we can link the numbers to a document. Document type will be controlling the number ranges, and it controls two fields status, like two fields, reference field and document header text. Okay. These are about document numbers. Any doubts in this, Rama and Sonia, regarding the document types and document number ranges?
No, so document type controls document header, the reference field, and the document header text, and it controls the number ranges, which is linked.
Correct.
I'm good.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Correct. Okay, fine. Now, so these are all one-time activities. You will do all this configuration during implementation. So normally, if you join a consulting company, what they'll do, you'll go to the client place along with the team, other consultant, SD consultant, PP consultant. Along with them, you go there and you'll play the role of a FI consultant. You will create the org structure, and which is a one-time activity. So even project activities will go in sequentially. So first will be like as you know, like a project preparation, then business blueprint, and then realization, where you do all this configuration. So business blueprint, you have to you document everything. So which document type and which number is to be linked. So the users will give the requirements, and we are going to document, and they need to sign on the business blueprint or BPD. And once it is ready, then we'll open the system and we'll do the configuration during realization phase. Okay, these are all one-time activity done by the consultant. Okay. One more concept is field status variant. So like posting key, okay. Posting key also controls the field status, right? So what kind of field status it controls, posting key? I think last week we discussed. It controls the field status means, so how it controls, like what we can do?
We can suppress the field, or we can make it
mandatory. Yes, correct, exactly. So there are four field status. Okay. We can suppress, we can make it as display, we can make it as mandatory, we can make it as optional. So that means, even this controls the same thing. Even field status variant also controls the same. These two do the same functionality, same kind of functionality. Okay. So field status variant is linked to GL account. When we create a GL master, I'll explain you about this field status variant. Okay. And there was a question in the interview. For example, for a particular field, cost center. Let's take cost center. Okay. Cost center. Okay. Here in the posting key, I made it as suppress. Okay. But in the field status variant, I made it as optional. So how the system will react to this kind of conflicts? There's a conflict now. So there's a field called as cost center in the end user screen. And in one node that is posting key, I made it as suppress. And the other node, I made it as like a field status variant, I made it null. So how system will act? Whether it will be suppressed or it will be optional. And this was a question in the interview for me, actually. So it follows this principle, SDRO. So whichever comes first, that will dominate. S means suppress, D means display or is required, which is mandatory, O means optional. So in this case, S is coming. So system will follow this sequence. So suppress is there in posting key, correct? So S is coming first, right? So it will get suppressed. It will not be optional. O is lost. See here, O is lost. So system follows this sequence, SDRO sequence. This is
So
very important.
Whatever
Very
is
important, actually.
so whatever is in the posting key, SDRO will check the posting key first and then the field status group.
No, not like that. No, not like that. For example, let's take a posting key. It is optional. Okay. And in field status variant, let it be like required.
Oh, so it will take
What is the
required
status of? Sorry, it will take
it will take required first based on it.
exactly. So this is in posting key, and this is in field status variant. So now OR is coming, right? OR is coming first here. So this sequence, as per this sequence, it will be required now.
Okay.
It will not be optional. Okay, like that. So irrespective of the posting key or for FSV, system will follow the sequence SDRO. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Now we'll go to the GL. So these are basic org structure, things, items, steps you do during implementation. Once this is done, you'll move to the GL, general. We'll move to the general ledger. How to configure the general ledger. So already we created the chart of accounts here. So that is a prerequisite to create the GL master. Okay. Here. So if you talk about the GL, so first thing that comes is master, GL master. Okay. For some of you, the first thing is GL master. Okay. To post to any GL account, first the GL account should be created in the system. So to post the transaction data, I discussed last week itself. There are three kinds of data. One is org data, which is one-time creation. Second is master data in the system. Third one is transaction data. So to post the transaction data, the master should be existing here. So we create the GL master. So what are the requirements to create the GL master? First of all, we need to create the GL account groups. So GL account groups should be created. So like if we talk about like in terms of business, like we have kinds of accounts, right? Like expense accounts, revenue accounts, asset accounts, and liabilities, correct? So these are the four types, typical four types of groups we have as per IFRS. Of course, we can further create more, but the basic groups are these one, okay, in terms of business. So we need to create these groups. So each GL master or GL account is linked to GL account group. So we need to assign this GL account to the group. Okay. So if you create a GL account, we have to tell the system whether it's a expense account or revenue account or asset account or liability account. Simple. That's all. So to do that, before creation of GL master, we need to create the GL account groups. And what are the functionalities of GL account groups here? Again, same thing, same funda. So we discussed about the functionalities of posting keys, document types, and field status variant.
Looks like he lost the connection.
Yeah.
I think I lost the steering. Again, I'm getting disabled. 1 second, let me check again.
Okay.
I got it now. Account groups. So by seeing the GL account, we can tell by seeing the GL account group in the GL master, we can tell whether it's a balance sheet account or it's a income statement account. Okay. So for training purpose, I'll create four GL accounts. That's it. So these four we will create, and this document types. So GL number range, the transaction document number range, the GL master. So for example,
Can you start over? Sorry, you were cutting off.
okay. So GL account groups will control the number ranges for GL master, for GL accounts. I can tell the system. So all my assets should start with 1. Okay. All my liabilities should start with 2. Excess 3. And we link these number ranges, we create just the GL account. This assignment will assign the number range. Okay. We'll go to the GL now. Full speed. With me, I'll just pause there. I'm not able to share my screen. Oh yeah, I think I can share. Okay. It got disconnected. So, can you see my screen? Hello.
Not yet.
Hello. Not it?
Not yet, but I think it will come. Oh, there we go. Now we can see it.
Okay. What is today? I don't know. Okay, let it go. So in the meanwhile, so I'm going to create a number range. Okay, at the time of creation of the GL account group, it's so like this. When the GL master or just GL
Your
for pictures, okay, or yeah. Now can you hear, please?
You're breaking a little bit, Krishna.
Still breaking. Still breaking.
Now better. So when I assign the number ranges like these assets, liabilities, expenses, and revenues, whenever I create the GL master, I need to pick up the number range starting with 1. So when I create a one GL account called as furniture and fixtures or inventory or some other asset, okay, land and buildings. So I have to assign 1, okay. My GL account number should start with 1, okay, and liabilities should start with 2, okay. And this is only external, okay, external number range. There is no option given by system for internal number ranges. External number range only. This is the only thing which is available for GL masters, GL accounts. Okay, so we should keep track of the number ranges. Okay, now if I go to the configuration again, IMG. So you go to the GL node, go to financial accounting. Go to the GL under that.
So what was last line? We kind of missed it.
Sorry, what is it? You said something, right?
Yeah,
Sonia?
you said last thing, something with GL you were saying.
Yeah, GL account groups. So I'm going to create the GL account groups. So it controls the number ranges for GL accounts. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll go to this node, general ledger accounting. Under that GL accounts. Okay. Go to the master data. Go to preparations. Okay. Here, define account group. Click on define account group. Okay. In the node, one more thing I want to highlight here. In the node, if you don't understand this node, don't worry. Just click on this documentation. It will give the description. What that node does. What is the functionality of that node? Okay. So normally finance consultant, okay, they normally access this documentation for other module, okay, because finance and controlling FICO is not an independent module. It is linked to each and every module. It is linked to MM, it is linked to SD, it is linked to product systems, PS, PP, production planning. So there is no other modules cannot work without FICO. So this is the basic module, which is core module, heart of all the SAP system. This should be implemented fast. Okay. So when you access other nodes, other module nodes, normally you can go through that. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to create the GL account group. So this is a screen where we can create the GL account groups. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, my chart of accounts is 1001. So I'm going to create the GL groups, GL masters, GL accounts under the chart of accounts within the chart of accounts. Okay, 1001. Okay, and account group, let it be asset first. Okay, and digits. Normally, the maximum length of a GL account can be 10 digits. So it can be 5 digits, 10 digits. So in this case, we'll give 10 digits. Okay. So this is the range I'm giving for asset accounts. So whenever you're creating asset, you should pick up you should not, the system will not pick up where to assign. Okay, it's manually controlled. It's not automatic. There's no concept of internal number ranges assignment for GL accounts. We have to manually or externally we have to assign it. Okay, so now liabilities. This will start with 2. So my GL account number for all groups is 10 digits now. Okay. So expenses. Even these number ranges is a requirement, part of requirements. Users will tell. So what are the number ranges that can be assigned? Because there are some rules under IFRS, like so and so number range should be assigned to assets for liabilities. So users will provide all this, and we are going to document all this in the blueprint. So as per the IFRS requirements, the following are the number ranges that are required to be assigned to the following account groups, like that. And revenues. Oh, sorry. So we can create any number of groups, like like assets, liabilities, expenses, revenues, as per the requirements, business requirements, and also, but we need to align to IFRS. So there are some rules which are mentioned in the IFRS. We have to align to that one and gather the requirements with respect to this, and we are going to create this. Okay. One more 0 is required, I think. So these are my GL account groups. I'm assigning the number ranges. So GL account groups. So it's one of the functionalities you have to remember for the interview and also for a certification exam. GL account groups will control the number ranges of GL accounts. So save it. GL account group. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and create the GL masters. Okay. So to create the GL master, you need to know a few things. So we can create the GL master in chart of accounts and company code. So if you remember in one of the sheets, I think Sonia was asking that question. I explained that. I don't know where it is. Oh yeah, here. Chart of account segment, okay, and company code segment. So first of all, the GL account should be existing in the chart of account segment. Then only we can extend it to company code segment. Okay. Like for example, you are sitting in the room in your home, correct? So if you want to enter into your room, first of all, you have to enter into your house, right? Correct? House premises. In the same way here also, if you want to create a GL account within the company code, first of all, it should be created in chart of accounts. Okay. So if you see, there are 3 transaction codes you have to remember here. So F double is 0, okay. F is 00 and FSP0. So this is for creating the GL account in company code. This is the T code for creation of the GL account in chart of accounts segment, company code segment and chart of account segment. Okay, and this is both. If you type this transaction code, you can see both the segments, chart of account segment and company code segment. Okay, so now I'll create the GL account so you'll understand that. So FS00, or you can go by node. Okay, this is a T code to create the GL master. So here you are going to create the GL master, or you can go by navigation also. Go to the accounting. It will be not in this is not part of IMG. This is part of end user transaction. So go to financial accounting. You have to access this from SAP Easy Access. So go to general ledger. Go to master records. GL accounts. Individual processing. Okay. So centrally Centrally means FS00 here, which I showed. Centrally means both. Okay. So if you when you type this T code, you can see only chart of account segment, not the company code segment. And in the same way, when you type this T code, you can see only company code segment. Okay, the same T codes are here.
So when we
Okay.
create it centrally, it's creating in chart of accounts and company code. But if we
Correct, exactly.
look at the company code segment, then it is FSP0.
Exactly. So I'll bring the T codes here so that easy for you. On this. So when you open the notes now, we can see the T codes for all the nodes. So these are T codes for all this to create the GL master centrally. As you said, when you type this T code, when you go to this node, it shows both. So here in the screen, 1 second, please, 1 second. So in this screen, you can see different tabs here, correct? So 3 or 4 tabs are there. So this tab, type or description, whatever you can see here, this is called as chart of account segment. And these tabs, control data and create bank interest, these two are called as company code segment. So first of all, we have to create the first in chart of account segment. Okay. So I open the GL account master centrally. So it's showing both. But if you open like in chart of accounts, it will show only one tab, nothing else. So this is the only, see, there's no control data or bank or something. The other tabs were not there. It's only type of description where you want to mention GL account type. Okay. Either the balance sheet or profit and loss account, and then account group. Okay. And you give the description, short text and long text. So once you do this, you have already created the GL account in chart of account segment. After doing this, then you have to go to company code like this. So this is the company code segment. The other two tabs like control data and create and bank interest. Okay, these two will come here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead centrally. So I can see I can create the GL accounts in both the segments. Okay, double click on this. So let me create first the retained earnings account, which is the first GL account should be created. Okay. Before that, we have to do a small configuration here for retained earnings. Okay. So retained earnings is what kind of group it is? Is it asset or liability or expense or revenue?
I think it's we are maybe asset because we are taking the company's money and putting it back in the business. So I think it's like a carry forward.
No, it is not asset. It's liability. Here, as you know, the basic thing is there's a curtain between the shareholders and the company, correct? So company means management. Management will manage the company, but shareholders are separate. So there's a separation between shareholders and the company itself. So they can sue each other. Shareholders can sue the company and vice versa. So that means company when they're earning the profits, they transfer the profits every year profits to retained earnings. That means this is who are the owners of this money? Shareholders, not the company. So that means it comes under liability.
Okay.
So they need to pay this to the shareholders in the form of dividend or some other way. They need to pay. So they're not paid. So it is with them only. That means it's a liability. Okay. So my chart of account is 101. Oh, sorry. So I have to put X here. And my first liability account is, so my liabilities are starting with 2 series, right? So first GL account I'm going to put here. And we are going to create this GL account first, okay? Once I do this, I'll go ahead and create this GL account. Otherwise, if I don't do this configuration, I cannot create the GL accounts. So first I have to do this first and then go back. This is a one-time configuration. So let me stay here. I'll open one more session. So FS00, I'll go directly. I'll create GL master in one shot. Okay, both the chart of account segment and the company code segment. So my first GL account is liability, which is return earnings, which I send there. So type that here manually. Server is a little bit slow. So this is my first GL account, which I'm going to create. So it will be in company code 1001. So click on, so there are 3 buttons here: create button, change button, and display. So this is for create. Okay, page kind of icon is there, no, that is for create. Pen kind of icon is there, that is change, and spectacles is display. Okay, so now I'm going to create this. Okay. So for any master, there are 3 kinds of things: create, change, display, always. Okay, not only for GL, for any vendor master, customer master, cost center master, asset master, or anything. Okay. Now GL account type. It's a balance sheet or profit and loss account. We need to specify here. This is my balance sheet account. Okay. And our groups will come here now. 4 groups. So these are the groups which I created. So liabilities will start with, if I select assets, system will throw error. See, system will throw error. Asset only defined for so and so number range. So to select the right group here, it is liabilities. 2 series. I gave 2 series here. I have to create liabilities here. Okay, and give the description. This is RE, short term and long term. I mean long text. Sorry, short text and long text. Okay. So this is chart of account segment. This is what you would specify in chart of account segment. That's all, nothing else. You're going to tell in HANA, this field was not there in ECC 6.0. It is a new thing in HANA, GL account type. Okay. So balance sheet account and account group, long text and short text. Okay. And go to control data.
This was an ECC 6.0 also, right? What type
That's
of?
what I was thinking.
Which one? GL account type. Yeah, it was optional actually, but now it is mandatory in HANA. I mean to say, it was not there means it was not required to use this.
Can you use the
It
drop
was not
down what you
mandatory.
have in?
But in HANA, it's mandatory. It's in HANA, it's mandatory now.
So it is only HANA?
It's in HANA, it's mandatory. Because there is no cost elements here, cost element concept. Normally, once we create ECC 6.0, what happens is, once we create the GL account, like for example, expense account. So correspondingly, we are going to create the corresponding cost element in controlling here itself. Okay, there should be one tab here. Okay, edit cost element. So once we create the expense account, we directly go and create the cost element. Now what happened is they have moved everything to GL master. Here itself, I'm going to tell for expense account, I'm going to tell it is like primary cost or secondary cost. So when I create an expense GL account, I have to specify whether it's a primary cost or a secondary cost. But ECC 6.0, no, it was separate activity.
Yeah.
Separate screen for creation of GL account. You have to go to that screen and create the cost element. Like K01 is a T code for creation of cost element. So once you create the GL account here, you have to go to that screen and create the cost element. But here in HANA, it is clubbed. Both are clubbed now. Now in the GL creation itself, I'm going to tell whether this particular GL account is a primary cost or secondary cost.
Okay.
So GL account type is mandatory here now. Okay. So that creation of cost element concept has gone now from ECC. It was there, it is gone now, but now I'm going to create, what I'm doing now is, I'm creating a GL account and also the cost element, both in one shot, okay? Okay. Now balance sheet is, now, so it's a balance sheet account. So this primary cost, revenue or secondary cost is applicable to only income statement GL accounts, not for balance sheet. So you have to specify, you have to mention here, like, balance sheet account. So this is a mandatory now. Instead of going here and clicking, there was one more tab here, okay, at this area or at this area, okay. Edit cost element. That means when I click after creation of GL account, I click the tab, it will take me to the cost element screen for creation. But now no such kind of concept in HANA, S/4HANA. Directly I'm going to tell here itself, okay. Now company code. So account currency you're going to give, okay, USD. So local currency is USD now. And this is written, just written earnings, reserve account. So nothing major to be mentioned here. Okay. Sort key for sorting the transaction data in the reports. So it should get sorted by posting key. So when I put the posting key, sorry, posting date, what happens? Whenever you post to this GL account, system will populate the posting date in the assignment field. There's a field called as assignment in the transaction data. So there, system will populate the posting key. Sorry, posting data. So posting date. Sorry, posting date. So whatever you specify here, based on that, system will populate in the assignment field. Okay. If you put document date here, system will populate the document date in the assignment field in the posting screen or transaction data. Okay. Normally, typical one is we use this only. So I'll take this one. So here comes the field status group. So you're going to specify the field status group. I don't know whether I've created the for our company. I think I did not copy it. Okay, let me complete it. So we will create a field status group for our company code, and I'll assign that here. So field status group controls what? It controls the field status of the fields in the transaction, like posting key, similar to posting key, as I already explained. Here also the same thing, variant principle. Okay, create the variant, assign the values to the variant, and assign the variant to the company code. I'll copy the existing one. I'll not create a new one. I'll just take the standard one and copy it to our company code, or we can use the standard one also. That's so fine. There it is. I think it should be like this. Okay. Yeah, fields. So field status variant. So these are different variants. Already we have this one. Here's the same thing. I'll just show you the screen, the different groups here. So if you take, for example, here on this, you can tell the system. So there are different options here. Under general data, we have different fields. So we can tell the system whether is required or option. Okay. The same concept, like whatever you saw in posting key, the same funda here. There's no difference. Okay, now already it is there. So I'll not copy it. I will just assign this to my company code. Already it's assigned, I think. Already assigned, just I'm confirming. So let me confirm whether this standard variant is assigned to my company code or not. Okay, so it is already assigned. So I never came to the screen, but it is there. How? Remember in which screen I assigned this variant? I never came to the screen. This is first time I'm in the training, after starting training for you, I never came to the screen, but I signed this somewhere else. Where did I sign this? You remember? So based on that, it is coming here.
The company code, the fiscal year variant?
No.
The global parameters?
Correct, exactly. In the global parameters. I added this in the global parameters. So I added everything there itself. Fiscal year variant, okay, posting period variant, field status variant, other chart of accounts, everything I assigned to the company code. So I assigned there, it is coming now. Okay. So it is here only somewhere. The global parameters will be somewhere here only. See, this is the one. This is the one, this is the node. where you can access that screen. Or you can type OBY6, it will take you to the global parameters and you can assign everything there. Okay. Now it is there. I'm taking the standard one. I'm not going to copy that and give a different code, and it's not required. I'll take the standard one, assign it to my company code. So based on that assignment, so in this we have different fields, right? So those groups will come here, not fields or groups. So these are different groups, okay, which are there. So general, for this one, it's a general, we'll take general. For cost expense accounts, we can take cost accounts. In general, we'll take general for retained earnings. And that's all. The main fields are, these are the ones, in the, so this is chart of account segment. These two are company code segment, okay. Okay. So I got one warning message, no issues. Keep balance sheet accounts in local currency only. That's a warning message. It's not stopping me. And green message is information message. So my GL account is created now. So when I create a new liability account, maybe for example, something related to loan or accounts payable, something like that. Okay, long-term loan or short-term loan. I have to manually keep track and give the number as one there. Okay, one like this. I give. So I can go ahead and create now. So this number range is not controlled by the system. It is controlled by us only. So there's no functionality where system controls the GL account number ranges like document number ranges. So if you remember in the document number ranges screen, there was a loss column external. There was an option for us to tell the system external, internal. But here there is no option, only one option. It's external number ranges. We have to assign the number ranges to the GL accounts. Okay. So again, balance sheet account. Okay, let me create this one. Liability. So this is the way of creating the GL account. So you have worked on all the screens now in the past, the GL master and all. Did you work on GL account creation of GL account groups, assignment of the number ranges to GL account groups?
I did a long time back.
Okay, okay,
That when I was working as like a junior.
okay.
Yeah, so I had two other senior consultants, and then
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mostly worked on the technical side and mostly as a BA. So I did not really have much hands-on on the configuration.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So this is a process of creating the GL master. Any doubts so far? Any doubts? Any doubts, please?
Yeah.
Okay. One question then. Oh yeah, Rama, please go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, one question. Okay. So now tell me, what is the functionality of GL account group?
It will control the number ranges of the for the GL accounts, which is
Correct, exactly.
assets,
Yeah, correct.
liabilities. Yeah.
Yes, correct. It controls the GL account number ranges. And also, one more functionality is there. I did not tell you, but I'm going to explain that now. What is one more functionality? Any idea? So it controls the field's status of the GL master. So I can tell the this particular group, whether I want this state, I want this, for example, tolerance group. It is not relevant to me, so I don't want this field. I can suppress it. Okay, so that can be done here. If you go to the GL account group,
Not for that account, but for the whole group of liabilities.
that's for a whole group. not just for particular account, for the whole liabilities group. So if you go here, I'll show you. Go to master data. So mine is, these are 4 items. So here, if you select one, for example, assets, so let's take liabilities only. Let's take liability, sorry, liabilities, and click on field status. You can see the GL master fields here, where you can control, you can specify here. So tolerance group, for example, okay, this is tolerance group. It is optional entry. I don't want this actually. So what I'll do is I'll just go and suppress. I don't want this tolerance group. So when I suppress, I'll not see this field at all in the GL master. Okay, now it is suppress status. Go to display, control data. So that field was there under control data. That should not appear now. See, it was at this point, at this place, and the tolerance group has gone now because I suppressed it for liabilities. But if you have not suppressed it for assets, that means when I create an asset account or expense account or income account or revenue account, I can see that field. It's optional field. So there are 2 main functionalities of GL account groups. This was a question in certification exam. So like it controls the GL account number ranges, and it controls the field status of GL master. These are the 2 functionalities, main functionalities of the GL account groups.
So does it allow to change the field status once for one of the accounts we entered data?
Okay.
Does it allow after there is some data
Yes,
for
yes.
that?
Yeah, still it will allow. Whatever the data you already assume that you already created on GL account, liability account, with some value in the tolerance group, okay? But still system will allow. That field will go. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions so far?
No, I'm good.
Okay, fine. Okay, today can we stop here because I have some work today actually, some commitment is there. So I need to get prepared for that. So with your permission, can I stop here for today? So I'll take it, like in some other class will extend the hour. Is it okay for you?
Okay, no worries for me.
Okay.
Sonia, okay, fine.
Can you upload the Excel sheet so then we can?
We'll check with, I'll check with Zahir if there's any Dropbox created for the batches, you know. I'll check with them and I'll upload there. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day. Today is Sunday. Enjoy.
Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Yeah.